Yeah, awkward. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to what's it? Aurorum Kingmaker, season 2, part 2. So you're shoving a whole bunch of coins into the holes and packing it in with wax to make sure that it's like held there solid. You were taking more coins and putting them into the holes above, melting wax, and then just throwing some rays of frost or whatever to instantly freeze it up so that it, it didn't, so it set well and of course you lined it up. You lined it up so you knew which ones you were going through, right? Right? Who was in charge of that? Neil, were you the one in charge of that?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you roll me an intelligence check? You're the smart one.
Oh, damn it. We also discussed that we would knock out a bit of the, before jamming it in, we would knock out a bit of the top so that they had room to move up the top as well.
So like destructure the hole up above a little bit. So like
then jam in the stuff to slow it down, but also the destructure to try and.
So like if the bar comes through like the hole, it's not like a tight hole. There's like a room so it can actually like wiggle.
Yeah.
Sorry if that was graphic.
So far we've had that, us jamming coins in holes, Tesh lubing up his arm and jamming it in. Oh my god. Would this be a knowledge dungeoneering?
What is a rusty old door euphemism? Never mind. So your intelligence check, just to kind of like line it all up.
Intelligence check?
Yeah, just to look up and down.
Okay.
These are the correct ones. There you go. It's a good check there, Neil. So anyways, you wanted to make you roll dice. Just to start greasing the wheel. All right, so you're destructuring those holes slightly. Again, it's one of those things because time doesn't seem to be a factor right now. You guys can do so without worrying too much about it. My only question is, how is it that you would actually break the stone? Do you have a chisel and hammer? Do you have a python and hammer?
I have a python.
You have a python?
Yep.
Cool. That means do you have a hammer? Anybody?
Nope.
A setting hammer, anything like that?
We don't need a hammer. We have a piton, and we can go and get a rock from downstairs.
Downstairs, outside?
If needs be.
Okay. I mean,
We're melting a load of coins into.
That's fine. It's one of those things. So you guys are working on this. Like, I'm gonna go get a rock. And so, who actually do me a favor? Because this, who actually goes outside to get the big rock? Like, probably a couple of them, just in case.
Jaden. She's not doing anything.
Okay. So Jaden goes downstairs and does that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, she only has to get some rocks. She'll be alright.
She's gonna step on the trigger down there, and we're gonna hear chunk. Oh.
You see, Rayron makes that joke, and Valorant just steps on the other side of the bars.
Jaden eventually comes back up and gives you guys the a few rocks. She's gone for maybe like 8-9 minutes, but she comes back up and she gives you guys a couple of good rocks, which you can use. And again, time doesn't seem to be a thing you guys care about right now, so you just take your time. We're not going to make you make any checks for anything like that.
What are our time constraints?
What was it?
What are our time constraints?
Yeah, I know. Life is free.
It's dark in here anyway, so
we should enjoy it while we can.
Yeah, you're an Idir. Freedom everywhere. So
I want to check with Jaden that she closed the door.
So you ask her?
Yeah.
She says mostly.
Jake's face there just went. You what?
It's a heavy door.
Yes, but
yeah.
What if a wolf or a giant spider makes its way through?
It's not so large that a wolf can nose its way in. It's just I couldn't get it all the way shut, but it's shut.
A really, really big wolf with a small nose but really strong neck muscles.
She looks at you like, is now the time?
Look, all right, maybe I'm being paranoid, but I just don't want to end up like Valorant with the spears.
She's like, it'll be fine. It's.
I'm gonna go downstairs and shut that door.
Poignantly.
One's like, I'm gonna go take a piss.
He poignantly puts down the rock, stands up and says, I'm gonna. There goes. So yep, you go down there.
Because when he goes through that, that's when we do the filling the stuff down the wall. We're like, well, fine, I guess we'll do this part.
You go, and when you make your way down the stairs, you see that she did leave it open, but we're talking like the actual gap of space between wall and door, like the widest opening you could find, is maybe about 4 inches. Nothing crazy big, which is what, 10 centimeters, I guess. Did you say 2.5 centimeters is 1 inch?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
so about 10 centimeters. So nothing that like something noteworthy could really get through. Roll me a
I'm
perception
still
check.
gonna close it to water. Yeah. All right.
Something's already getting in.
So you grab the door, you pull it shut, same as you did before. You know what I mean? There's a bit of a clang to it, as there always is.
You didn't notice the footprints. Something had already made its way in.
And you head your way back upstairs.
Oh fuck!
Thank you.
The fucking cranium.
Thank you, by the way,
something.
Jake. I appreciate that. Thank you. So you guys finished doing your task. Ching, 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 ching. Milk, milk, milk. Shove, 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 shove. We're good. No, nobody triggered this trap.
See, now we could have blamed Jaden for it, but now we get to blame one.
So you guys start making your way up the actual staircase. You're making your way up the staircase, continuing on. Again, same as before. You're going to use Sift again. Why wouldn't you use Sift? Because you were paranoid to a degree at this point. Cautious. I wouldn't say paranoid. Maybe now you're getting on paranoid.
There's going to be a trigger near the top. We're paranoid.
Oh yeah.
So I'm using Sift and Perception again.
Please and thank you. Sorry.
Okay.
Can we assist? Because presumably we'd be looking as well.
Same as last time.
Alright, I'm guiding myself as well. And
Yeah, good idea.
I've spammed guidance before.
Oh my god. Oh my god, we're gonna die.
You guys continue making your way up the stairs, and everything seems fine. Everything seems fine, of course. It's one of those. I don't know if you've ever seen Pitch Black. It's one of those. Looks good.
Oh no.
How does it look now? Looks good. So you guys, it's like you like everything's fine, and then literally about 3 steps later on, Neil, you feel it. You put your weight on the step. You shift your weight from one foot to the next as you start to lift, as you start to feel your hips. You know what I mean? Shifting the weight from one side to the other. You feel your foot almost like slide down just a smidge. And the entire step that you're standing on depresses almost like a piano key. And,
Shit.
And then almost immediately afterwards, as you say shit, all of the stairs, click, click, clank, depress like a piano key. At the same time, you hear this huge cranking noise as the ceiling in front of you and above cranks down and
Let's slide.
Go.
a boulder starts to make its way.
Wait. The boulder hasn't got momentum.
Not yet.
How big is it?
Almost as wide and tall as the corridor is.
Yeah,
Which
we ain't
is-
stopping that. We go.
Hold on, let him think.
Which is how wide is the? And
Oh,
how tall?
it's 7.5 to 8 feet in its width, and it's just above that in its height.
Yeah, okay, we ain't.
Yeah,
We ain't
stopping
stopping that even before momentum.
that. We go now. You know what? It's that. Valorant's gonna immediately just, out of panic, just boom, a shield appears behind him and he starts running.
It would have been funny if you tried to do that and you failed. So
Yeah,
anyways,
it would be, yeah.
all of a sudden you feel like you step on it, you feel it first, and you literally said whatever it was, like, oh shit, and everybody's like turns to you like, what? And they feel all of their own steps click, what the click, and then you throw up the shield and all of a sudden clank, and all of you guys just start like, oh shit. Now it's much like being on this, because this is stone and it's not perfectly smooth. There's texture to it. So I don't know if you've ever been on a roof.
It's gonna hurt.
I don't know if any of you guys have ever been on a roof before, like an actual like a pitched roof, but not like a narrow pitch, but one of the more extreme ones. You can still grip on with your naked foot. It's just without
We don't
momentum.
want
No, I understand. Without momentum, you can still grip on with your naked foot. It just takes effort in the right angling, right? So you guys can try to slow down or control yourself, but you can also like lean into it and just tumble the fuck down.
Farrell's actually, he's going to start with the shield behind him and then realize that he's sliding with force and just like, shield in front towards the bars.
Okay, and you guys are tumbling forward. Nobody's trying to slow themselves down. You're just trying to get down there.
Myself. There's
Yeah,
no
I'm gonna
point getting
control
down there
myself
if
as
I
well.
tumble into the actual bars.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm trying to control myself. Less so lose speed, but try to control myself.
Absolutely. If you guys could all then roll for me I'm just going to click over. Oh, hey, sorry, that was me. Just looking for
You took my sheet.
Acrobatics. Acrobatics is the check that I need. I just need to confirm.
Oh no. This is not good for me.
Oh no.
Oh! I had a heart attack.
We might need to use a couple of D4s in that one, guys.
You guys use those. I don't think.
I think we both better use a D4 so that we
Yeah.
don't get squashed.
Oh, I had a heart attack when that rolled to 1 and then slowly rolled to a 13.
Oh dear.
Oh.
How do you roll D4?
/ roll 1d4. I will eventually make a macro for you.
Yeah, you can also actually hit the
Yeah,
dice.
there's a
thing.
button over on the left.
Hey!
Nice. Well,
So this is how it plays out.
You only got 2 more than him.
This immediately happens, and you guys start like this slide happens, and Valorant tries to start controlling himself, and he is able to control himself, and he's almost able to like a looping skip down. You know what I mean? Like kind of like running down, handicap access ramps. Way more extreme of that. You know, like the wow, this is really aggressive ramp. Like a little bit more than, because we've all been there. Like a little bit more than that one right there. And you're like kind of like looping down it, and you're barely holding on to control, but you eventually get this like stride where you're like throwing your weight from side to side and are able to do pretty well, right? And then you have one who's like straight on, like fucking balls to the wall, barely hanging on, barely maintaining control.
Oh, he is, okay.
Barely maintaining control. But he's doing so. It's just like, I need to hit a tree or something to stop. You know what I mean?
The DC was fucking 10, wasn't it?
And then you have Rayrin.
I made the DC of 10 if that's what it was.
So Ray,
It was 12.
Ray fails.
Oh, okay.
But Ray doesn't just fail to the point where he doesn't have control. Ray ends up sliding down the hill. Ends up gaining momentum just because the way he's sliding is almost like perfect, like a penguin going down a slope. Ends up bowling through the two of you as you're finally approaching where the bars are down below. Ends up bowling through you guys, dropping you onto your asses, and as you hit the bars down below, have completely lost all of the forceful momentum you were trying to build the entire time because of the way that he had taken you out at your legs. So
All the
unfortunately,
bars have dropped down.
so all of the bars have dropped down. The wall to the side has in fact opened up. The bars have dropped down. Once you guys finally get down there and boof, slam against it in this tangled mess of just awful, and you can hear the grinding and slight bouncing, hence why the ceiling is a little bit taller, of the boulder coming down the momentum.
Okay.
You can't quite see it yet because one of the plus sides, I suppose, to his failure is that you moved a little bit quicker. You're ahead of the boulder with enough time to act. The bars are definitely offset. They're sitting right next to where the holes would have set them in. You can see they've damaged the coins, they've damaged the wax or whatever, but they're just like right in front of it. They are offset. You're in a mess.
Ryan's going to grab another one of these offset bars and corrosive touch.
Hey, you did well. He actually did 4 points of damage. Why does it have a 1 at the bottom down there too? That's weird. Huh. Oh, concentration.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. That's weird. I don't know. Oh, sorry.
That's weird.
I don't know. I like rolled it twice for you, which is why I think it's revealed twice. Maybe we might be able to disable
Maybe
that.
that's the level up. Because it said per
Caster level-
caster.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah. All right. We'll deal with that later on. I'm sorry. So you cast corrosive touch on one of the offset bars, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys got one of the offset bars, and you do like burn it enough that you're like, I'm damaging it, so we can try to bash our way through this. So you kind of like barely getting up, doing this, pulling yourself up, and that's kind of what you do with your turn. Who's next? What are you
As
gonna do?
he's doing that, because the bar's come out, it's not set. Can I like try and pull it up?
Oh, I see what you're trying to say. So you're trying to like lift
I
it.
figured that it may have locked in.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Yep.
So if it's not locked in, I may be able to pull it up.
Well, you're gonna grab the thing and make me a strength check.
Yeah, I ain't helping with this, guys. Good luck.
Okay.
Okay. You realize trying to lift it up is probably not the best option, but there's definitely some wiggle room here. Even in and of itself, 2 bars wiggled to their widest extent, you might be able to slip through with an escape artist check. But definitely if you could like knock out a whole bar or 2, you know, then you would be much better off. Definitely 3. Be much better off. But even no, my apologies. You'd have to knock out 1. I'm so sorry. I just remembered the numbers. You have to fully knock out 1 to maybe escape artists, 2 to escape artists, 3 to get through with difficulty. So yeah, you don't quite get that yet. What are you doing, Val?
Okay, well, I'm a weak boy. I am not moving these out of the way. I am going to peer into the door, look down, and look up.
Sure.
The door on the wall.
So clearly the hole, when you first glance inside there, when you look in, it's definitely designed, this whole thing swooped, like the bars start just a little bit further up to start turning the momentum, right? So to like swoop this ball, almost like a pinball machine, into the huge chasm on the other side. And you can actually see, do you have dark vision?
No, but I have dancing lights going.
No, you have low light vision. You're half elf. That's right.
Oh, yeah, I am,
sorry,
yeah.
a parent. So you go glancing in, you can actually see that the ball is clearly meant to take that momentum and roll partially up this hill, because it does slope upwards for a bit. Then kind of like sending a dancing light up there really quickly to shed a little bit more light. You can see that there is almost like something that's designed to catch the boulder after, like, so it rolls up on its own, probably due to momentum, and there's something to almost like catch it in place a little further up. You can see like the depressed metal bar that would then clip and hold it there. And then you can't really get any more from a quick glance like that. You can't get
There's
any
nowhere
more
to hide.
information.
It's designed so you can't like go in there to get out of the way, sort of thing.
I mean, in theory, if you can scramble up past the point where momentum would carry the ball up the slope, sure. But that is a much smoother groove than it is out here. So.
And also then the boulder is locked in and we're trapped in there. So we want through those bars. He's gonna look in, peer out and go, we're going through those bars.
Freeze them.
Ray of Frost. Where's my Ray of Frost?
This is where he fails the cast.
Yeah, that would suck. And it's 2 damage because of my cast, but it's 8 to hit, so it probably doesn't hit.
It's very easy to hit bars immediately in front of you, so you're fine with that one. So you do that. You do the 2 points of damage to it, trying to weaken the bar or whatever it is. Okay, that's the first round. You guys have another round, and then we'll see how things play out. So, who wants to go first? You, Neil, or do you want to go first, Jake? Because he's the strength guy. That's what I'm saying.
I can try and open it now, but if you do some more damage to it, might be better for me, like pulling on it to allow us to get through.
Well, I've already weakened 1 bar with corrosive touch as well for 4 points of acid damage. So presumably that bar isn't like particularly well.
Let's focus on the middle bar, and so we can push the other 2 out to the side.
Bending iron is.
He's already said that we can wiggle them a bit.
That's
Okay,
true,
the
yeah.
one that you've used the acid on, do you want me to just try and... Do you want me to try and push that one, or...?
You can either try and push that one, or I can try and chop it out entirely.
Yeah, if we can get one out, then we are much more.
I'll go first. Let's try it. We'll see, shall we?
Strength
If
check
I
from you, Neil.
No. Raren draws his short sword, A flash of blue extends from his hand over the short sword. And that didn't put anything, did it? That's not what I
No, it
want.
didn't put anything.
Why didn't it show description? Damn it.
Maybe you have to click the actual show
There you go,
description.
there you go.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
there you go. And he is going to slash the weakened bit that he's already hit with corrosive.
Okay, so you more or less for viewers at home, you one of the things that mages can do is they can actually use just their magical arcane energies to envelop a weapon in your hands and make it a magical weapon temporarily, gaining all the wonderful features that come along with it being a magical weapon. And so you do that and you swing and you try to smash this thing with your sword. It's still technically a strength check as you're trying to break it, so it's a break DC you're trying to overcome.
Oh, I can't attack it.
I mean, the way that the mechanics work, that will not work in your favor.
I mean, it would because I'm a dex fighter. But let's try it with strength then.
Because the health point pool that you're trying to deal damage to is greater than you probably care to know.
So I just roll a flat strength then.
Correct, sir.
Just weaken it. Just weaken it for 1.
Okay.
Rolled off of 14.
So you start to smash this thing with your sword, and you're like, ting, ting. Now, fortunately, you don't hurt your sword. Like it's magical now. There's nothing like no iron bar is gonna dent your blade or nick your blade or anything like that. However, while you are cutting chunks into this iron bar, it is not so much that the thing actually completely falls. Like it's hurt, but it hasn't completely collapsed yet. Mm-hmm. Next up.
Whoa, wait. Let me just check something. Yeah, I should have done a spell. I should have used spell combat for a full round action. So that would have been an attack with a -2.
Oh, spell combat would have also. Wait, do you have
This one?
Oh no, you don't have to use spell combat. That's only if you're attacking with 2 attacks at the same time.
Could I not cast a spell afterwards? If
You
I
could,
use-
yeah, absolutely, sure. What spell do you want to do?
Are you happy for me to retcon that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I didn't really specify.
No, you're fine.
Oh crap! Of course, you have to prepare things twice to cast them. Oh well, I guess I'll acid splash.
And welcome to the exact reason why I chose sorcerer.
I'm just not designed to be effective against inanimate objects, which is all we've been fighting.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So you damage it even further. That brings you to Jake.
I mean, I'm just gonna.
This thing is like really taking a considerable amount of damage from the cuts of the magical blade, the splash of the acid. It's made a bit more brittle by the cold. It's the
I
first
feel like
bar.
we've done all our good rolls. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try
Don't say
and.
that.
I'm gonna try and bend it.
Okay, roll me your strength check.
Once
sir.
again, one will say a little prayer in Orcish, which I don't know if either of you speak to his god, and he's just going to give it one big tug and see what
I
happens.
did that last night. Oh God!
No.
So here you guys are. You've loosened the bars. Everything's looking like it should be easy. I actually have a DC set low, but unfortunately you are rolling.
What do you think? Can you? Oh, not low enough for the D4 to help.
I don't think we have any d4s. We used all 3.
Oh fuck.
No. You used 2 of the remaining 3 because there were 4 in total,
1 at the start on the door.
and then 2 during the slipping
Yeah.
down that. Yep,
Oh, so there were 4.
correct. Yeah, because remember I said you used
We
1, then I
have
said
3
now it's 3
after
again.
I-
Yeah, so you have 1 left.
One is just going to yell out to Valorant and just be like, just pull.
All right.
Just
So
pull.
now you can literally
I
look
don't
back.
think you understand.
You can you now know the boulder without a doubt, shadow of a doubt in your mind. The boulder is coming. Like you knew it was coming, but like it was so far beyond. You're like, we got time. Now you're like, we're out of time. So it's either go for the bars or go for the slippery slope hole over there. Neither of them are in your favor. Who's going first? It doesn't. It can be this. It doesn't matter. Anybody can go first.
Oh, okay. So it's just any order now.
Correct. Well, that's how it's pretty much always.
You know what? Baron's skinny. He's gonna try and the one that's being damaged. He's gonna move it to the side, move the other one to the side.
You have to break at least one to try to slip through. Yep, and and that would be a high DC to slip through. We have to break at least one.
All right. I should not go first.
Is it? I thought it was your turn.
Oh, do I get? Because if we have 2 full turns before it's go time, do I get my last turn or?
You can. All of you guys are welcome to go one more time.
Well, that's what I mean.
He's only had one go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Please. I'm so sorry. I actually skipped that.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you
and that's 7 damage.
End up damaging this bar that's been hacked at, that's been offset, all this stuff. You end up making it so brittle and so beat up. And this is, I imagine, just because it makes the most sense, because it's where you do the most damage. You're not doing it like right here in front of you. You're doing it as tall and close to the ceiling as you possibly can, because that's where it has the most push or whatever. You end up doing that, and then it's one of those things where as you finish doing it, and you're like casting the spell and nudging it with your elbow too, you actually, with lack of strength, are able to like feel the snap, and all of a sudden the bar comes, ah, shit, and like overbalances because how fucking heavy it is. It's a huge lead pipe, but not hollow. As it falls ping behind you, and you're like, sweet, like toss it off of your shoulder, one down.
He legitimately, he would see that popped out, and there'd be a pause, and then he and try and get through move the other 2 to the side and try and get through the gap.
It's a pretty big gap. Sorry, it's a pretty small gap. Welcome to Roll Me an Escape Artist.
Okay. It's what he would do. It's a bad idea. It's what he would do. Escape artist. Okay.
Unfortunately, you are like, if this was a wider gap, sure, but not. This is just too tight right now.
Feel free to yank him out of the way and continue.
Who's next?
So right now, all 3 of us are through here. It doesn't look like all 3 of us are going to be able to make it through. However, we have a huge iron pipe, correct? It's not even a pipe. It's a solid iron bar.
It is heavy as fuck.
Good. Raren's gonna start picking it up and raise it to wedge it. And as he grasps it, the blue glow travels from end to end. It's a giant metal quarterstaff. And he's gonna give it that +1 enhancement check. There's no actual definitive measure on how long a quarterstaff can be, so it can be a quarterstaff.
No. I'm fine with your shenanigans. I like shenanigans.
And Raren starts lifting it up towards to wedge it, and he says, "Help!"
Yeah. And it literally is one of those, he could barely get it above his knees, and his back is already hurting like an old man. Old man. So you got, who goes over to help him immediately? Because he's doing that with his turn. But that means you're sacrificing what you're able to do with your turn, and you might be able to do something else. So whoever helps him, because either one of you can, it doesn't have to be the other strong one. Either one of you can help him. The other one gets a turn.
I guess I'll try and help him while he breaks the stuff, because I ain't making me do another strength check. Yeah. Look, I have a -1 to strength. You can do this.
Fair enough.
So you 2 together, and they're hurting. It's almost like hurting you watching them try to do this because of how they're struggling, but they're trying to wedge it in the right spot. To properly,
we know where to wedge it.
To properly wedge that, I want to see a dexterity check from either one of you. At the same time, why don't you, Jake? Why don't you roll me your strength check?
As I'm rolling my strength check, I'm going to yell out, "Thanks for the help, Jaden. I appreciate it."
I don't know if you realize this, but only so many people can fit in front of this area at once. She's in back.
She's just there panicking.
Yeah, just staring at this oncoming boulder, like, ah. Right, so a dex check, yeah?
From you, yes, it is strength from Jake. Whoever goes first has first dibs on the die. Oh, so you get a 15? Do you want to roll that D4?
Yeah. Do you guys want me to roll it, or?
Yeah, no, you roll it.
Ah, you motherfucker. So I was like, before the other rolls.
Well, to be fair, we said yeah, and then it rolled, and then we said
True.
yeah.
I was too nervous.
Oh. Okay,
It's okay, that's at least a 16.
so that's the whole pool of luck. Blew your load. Oh wait. Oh. Okay.
Do we have more luck?
Scott's
Or do we
like,
have bad?
oh, that's a curse of Idir. Oh no.
Oh, that's a
Oh, one of those already hit you. That's why he took them out at the legs.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening?
God.
What ends up happening is my apologies. You can actually do me a favor, take back that point of luck. So what ends up happening is you are able to grab this bar and you're able to break it off, no problem. But unfortunately, what you're seeing is that the even though the area is wider now, and so somebody thin like Valorant might be able to relatively easily slip through, you don't know if there's enough time that you can successfully stop this boulder, that you can successfully make this work out. So with this other bar in your hands, Jake, with the other bar in your hands, you're like, fuck it. His secondary plan is probably the best plan at this point. Instead of trying to wedge us through the small area behind us, let's make the curve start in front of us, effectively making a wall in front of us against this boulder. Manhandling this thing by yourself while the two of them are struggling together to lift it, you hoist this bar and you wedge it perfectly between one of the slightly jutted out, because again it was like still shingled, slightly jutted out steps and the ceiling above, and you wedge it and you brace it as much as you possibly can with the two of them next to you, the two of them bracing, holding on for dear life.
I would also put my shield like on it.
You get this done just in time that you see the boulder rolling down, and just like right at the last possible minute, everybody like, let's go! Let's go with their hands, and the boulder smashes into the bars in front of you, bending them because they're not structured the way they used to be beforehand, bending them under the sheer weight and force of this, just the sound of it, the crashing, everything, the rattling of the metal, and you guys just like, as you like duck away and hide in this small little, because the slope you made, small little like area of safety that you've constructed. The boulder smashes into it, comes to a dead stop, and then slowly into the hole on the other side.
I would add, Rerin wouldn't have let go entirely. To maintain his magical enhancement,
Grab
he
it down.
needs to have, so he'd like have the palm of his right hand against it.
Yeah, you have it down low too. So we're
Yeah.
like the curve of the, you're
Yeah,
fine
yeah.
there. So you did break the momentum. You did stop the momentum entirely. The boulder does not affect you guys at all. It does not harm you. But also, after you like kind of gather your senses and like you can't move these bars. These are stuck here. They're like wedged in with their curvature and whatnot here now. But the one of the things you notice is that the boulder didn't have the momentum it typically does to like loop around and up to be caught by the thing that catches it. So it's kind of just still sitting at the base, and there's enough space that you can get around it if you wanted to for the groove for the smooth area. Or there's still like the sloped, hard slope steps that you can work with. But that aside, that important information aside, you literally just had this boulder come at your faces. You honestly weren't sure if you were going to survive. You're saying your prayers to whatever it is you say your prayers to, and then it's over.
Valor is literally just sitting there staring at the bar.
Rerin will slump to his feet, to his sitting down. He's on a slope, I guess, so he like slumps against the slope. That didn't go quite as planned.
One takes out the sigil of his god. It's made of silver, iron actually, and just without looking at you guys, just holds it to his chest and just closes his eyes and starts kind of chanting a prayer.
Well then, I assume the stairs haven't like clicked back up.
They have not won. And 2, actually, could you guys roll me a religion check to see if you're familiar with this god?
I mean, we don't speak Orcish, so.
Yeah, but you saw the sigil for the first time.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Really-
Good point.
Religion.
Oh, no, I don't know.
I may well know.
Oh, you might.
Oh, yeah, you will. Cool. So, where is it? Where do I have it written down? Sorry. I have 2 things of note since... so it's Vroga Waruk is the name of this god. Or at least, that's the name that humans typically use for the god. The full name, the proper name. However, him being a half-orc, it's very likely that he doesn't worship Vroga Waruk. He actually worships just Vroga. See, this god is a pretty widespread and well-known god in Eroth. He's a bit of a strange entity or faith, and the fact that he is actually a god of war, a god of battle, strength, proving one's might, chaos and destruction, and all that fun stuff. So that you would actually imagine being a god of evil. But in fact, that's not true at all. He's a god of war and all that for the sake of proving one's own worth, proving one's own mettle. But he's also a god of liberation, a breaker of chains, as one might say. He actually is, it's literally one of his nicknames is Breaker of Chains, or the Broken Chain. He is usually depicted by in 3 different ways, depending on whatever faith you're looking at. So Vroga Waruk, the name that you know, is this like large, beefy barbarian of a man with cuts and wounds everywhere all over his body. Actually, literally has like manacles on either of his arms that are broken in half, and just has this like fierce expression on his face that like, yeah, cool, bro. Kind of look to him. Whereas Vroga, which is what the half-orcs call him, that depiction is of a smooth, clean, attractive man that seems to not be a part of the chaos, but seems to revel in the chaos that is brought about from just battle and war and so on and so forth. That is a liberator that can almost be seen as one to aspire towards, as opposed to just be thankful that one came by. You know what I mean? So it's like a different view from depending on which race is looking at the faith, but it's a very widespread faith. And back to the campaign.
So as I was asking, so the stairs haven't popped back up yet.
His what? The stairs did not.
Stairs, yeah. Okay. I assume that the mechanism for returning the stairs to being stairs is up there. It seems to click into place. The boulder is meant to go all the way up. I assume that might be what we need to reactivate the stairs.
I suspect that if you depress that, yes, it will click them back into place.
Looks to the others to move first. He's like, "I ain't going."
I wonder if there's you wouldn't think there'd be another boulder up there, so if we reset it and then walk in the same spot.
I'm gonna look in. Is there enough room for more than one boulder up the top?
So where the boulder came from and where this one is heading towards might not be the same place. So you don't have the answer from where you are now. You have to go all the way back up the stairs and.
No. I mean, where this boulder ends up, is there room for more than one boulder?
Oh, you mean like a pinball machine having more than one ball? It's a good question.
As in, like, where it clicks into place, is there room for multiple clicks?
No, one click.
Okay, so that leads me to believe that it's only one.
Do we need to reset the stairs, or can we just make our way up?
I think the question is, do you want to go the stair route, or do you want to go to the smooth route?
Well, I mean, I'm curious what's on the other side of this.
Yeah, sure. We can go through there.
So slipping through to get to the other side. Each one of you guys are like slipping through and is going into the like past the boulder. It's a little bit difficult. Probably the last one to slip through would be what's his name there? One, just because he's a lot beefier than the others. It's harder for him to slide around the boulder.
Pull.
Being the most perceptive and being the last one through, you notice that Jaden is still like she is until this point. As long as what's his name? Oh, your cat's being cute. As long as what's his name was always. I take that back. I strike that from the record. I never said that on the internet. Okay.
Too late.
Delete that from the VOD. Delete that from the VOD.
What did he say? I missed
No,
it.
I said drown the thing. So,
How dare!
so you
No.
you happen to look back, and Jaden until this point has always been like, I just take things as they are. Nothing bothers me. I don't get upset. I don't get anything. Well, what Jaden actually is at this point is still huddled into a ball over in the corner. Without even making a perception check, you can actually see literally there's a puddle down beneath her. Like, she was clearly shaken by this experience.
So do I notice that or everybody?
You do, because you're the last one through. You kind of like try to squeeze through it, and you look back and you notice.
I'm just going to call up to Rayron and say, you should go speak to your girl.
What? She's not. Ah.
And then and then you slip your way through.
Yeah.
One thing, is there any bones or anything like this trap has been triggered and somebody's tried, obviously, not to get through the thing, but tried to outrun the boulder or anything like that?
Inside this initial well area, no bones over there. It's smooth. It's clean. Sans like dust and whatever that's settled over the many years. And the iron bit up ahead that I told you about is not really rusted, like barely starting to rust just because of natural oxidization, as opposed to outside, which exposed to the elements. So before we have you guys go handle that bit of the trap, why don't we go over to Neil? Neil, you go walking up to Jaden.
Rarin would sit down above her on the slope, like crouch down next to her. Hey, you okay?
She's quiet for like a couple seconds or so, and then she like shakes her head slightly and then like looks up at you.
Wish we were back on the wall.
It takes again a couple seconds, and then she nods in agreement.
Listen, Jaden, we wouldn't be free if you weren't there. Yes? We got lucky. There's no sense in pushing that luck. I couldn't have done that without you. Why don't you wait down below by the door, keep it closed where it's safe, and we can come grab you when we're done. We'll be safe there.
She once again, couple seconds, thinks, and then she nods. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then she like slowly stands up. That's when she realizes that, inner thighs are all wet. And she kind of like looks down. She doesn't look at you. She like looks away, embarrassed for a moment, and then starts trying to.
Raren's gonna give her a hug when she stands up.
Okay. And then she takes the hug. At first she's rigid, but you guys are good friends. Eventually she kind of like melts into it a little bit, and then she kind of like becomes like a part of the hug, and you can feel like it almost breaks through. When she splits away from you, instead of just immediately turning away, she takes like another 5-6 seconds to compose herself, and then she gains back a good portion of the composure she almost always has, and then she starts walking away. I mean, as a warrior, she's a woman of war. Swords being swung at her, arrows flying past her head, even spells being incanted nearby. Those haven't scared her, but the several ton boulder that just nearly smashed her face, stopped by inches, that broke her spirit for the first time that you've ever seen. she makes her way down the slope steps, which, funny enough, you guys actually didn't notice it until you're looking after her. Right beyond the bar. They're not sloped, they're actually stairs. Wasn't that nice? So she actually is able to walk down normal stairs right when she gets past the bars. Slips through, it takes her a minute, but she gets through. On the inside of the area over there, you see the mechanism that would kind of like catch the ball as it goes in. I imagine you try to climb up to it there, Jake and Tesh.
Yes.
Okay.
Probably letting one go first.
So one, make me a climb check.
Raring would squeeze back through and say, Jaden's decided to wait back at the door. We'll go make sure she's okay on the way out.
You are able to, it takes difficulty. Like you slip down several times, so on and so forth. You end up like having to be a little smart and getting like a length of rope out again and kind of like looping it up there to at least give you some amount of like, even not enough to hold your whole weight, but some amount of pressure to help you out. And you're eventually able to kind of like pull yourself up to the metal bit. You can secure it and allow, Tesh to then scramble up afterwards as well. And you can see where it is that this thing, clearly there is a big ol', call it a button that you would hit to depress this thing in. But the amount of weight to hit this is probably pretty extreme. So it's going to take like a bit of like maybe the two, or even if you want to wait until Neil gets back in there, the three of you kind of like booting it to hit this button.
Yep.
So you guys spend, there's no reason to rush at this point. Do you wait for Neil?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys
For this
spend,
part, yeah.
you guys spend, the 2 minutes or whatever to hit this thing, like heel kicking it in unison. Every once in a while, kind of like wedging it down a little bit. Eventually realize that Val is probably kicking it so poorly that it's coming up a little bit rather. So, he kind of like eventually goes around and you guys heel kick it and he wedges in a dagger. And then right as you guys heel kick it again, he goes like, and like wedges in a dagger. Just trying to like tick it down enough that eventually it's done. And then finally you guys heel kick it that one last time, then engages it. You hear several loud clicks and cranks and everything going on in the hallway, as well as immediately hearing the scraping as like the wheel door starts rolling in, which might be bad news if it wasn't the fact that all of a sudden this huge metal thing that you're holding on to starts sliding really quickly up the actual slope or ramp that it's on. Taking it to the top. It takes a moment. It's jarring, but you guys, oh shit! Oh, and you're holding on, and it starts sliding you right up and around, and actually brings you to the top area.
Holy fuck.
It's definitely like we get to the top and Raren's like holding onto one's clothes, and he's just like.
So you
I imagine Valorant the entire way up is doing the.
Yeah, because he doesn't know whether he's about to squash.
And with that, why don't we take another break really quickly so everybody can kind of like go do what you got to do or whatever, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. All right. I wouldn't have broken here, but that's just too good. We'll be right back.
Enjoyed that scream.
Thank you. I tried to.